Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Lance Tamashiro, and I'm super glad that you're here today. And the reason is this, is that right now it is no secret online that you have to have a membership site to have a successful business. And it used to be, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago that a membership site was one of those luxury items that you had to have. It was one of those things that where if you didn't have one, you could still get by selling PDFs or selling videos or other things like that. But if you look around today, every single site that is successful on the internet, whether you're talking about Google, Amazon, Robert and Lance, software sites, everything now is based upon a membership site model. The problem comes in is that when we come online as entrepreneurs, whether we already have an offline business or we're building something brand new online, we hear this thing called membership site and we automatically think, okay, so what I need to do is create a site where people pay me $7, $10, $100, $1,000 every single month. That sounds great until you get to the point where you have to create the content for it, or you have to create the product for it, or you have to create what's called the stick strategy for it, the reason why people would stay on your site. And quite honestly, it's easy today to set up a membership site. It's easy today to get everything in place to do it. The hard part is always the business model of it all. And that's where everything goes wrong. And so today, what I want you guys to really focus on is I want you to clear your mind and get rid of any preconceived notions that you might have about what a membership site is and how it might work in your specific niche. Because what we're going to show you is we're going to show you some simple membership site models. And even though we're using the word simple here and we're going to show you some different things here, I want you to keep your mind open because one of the models that you're going to see is something that you can literally set up today and you're going to be shocked when you actually see it. And this one membership model that we're going to show you today is generating over 6 figures a month in revenue. So this is a real site. This is something you'll be able to go look at. And most importantly, this is something that you can model, a model that you can model. So if you guys can hear us, if you're alive and out there, it looks like a bunch of you are, go ahead and type simple into the box so that you know where it is, so that we know that you can hear us. And most importantly, so we know that you are ready to sort of reframe and change the way you look at your online business. So with that, I'm super excited to introduce my business partner, Robert Plank, who's not only a great guy, not only a knowledgeable programmer, but one of the most sought after membership site consultants on the internet today. So with that, Robert, welcome to the webinar.
I'm super glad and super excited to be here, Mr. Lance Tamashiro. And yeah, and I even got sort of excited listening to you talking here, and I hope that you guys out there are excited too, because the thing about membership sites, like Lance just said, is a lot of people misunderstand them, or a lot of people think that they're gonna make either the next Facebook or the next YouTube or the next, Udemy, if you've heard of that one, or like lynda.com. And a lot of people, they kind of go down the wrong path and they end up planning something or creating something that is just guaranteed, that is destined to fail. And I can definitely relate. I can definitely relate to having an idea and really wanting to go with it, but then not really sure how to get from point A to point B, and wishing there was a better way, wishing there was a guide, wishing there was someone that could just tell me, okay, well, instead of setting up these 10 or 20 things, or instead of taking these 50 steps, how about you just take 3 steps and you go for the low hanging fruit, you make that little bit of money, and then you just kind of have like bigger and bigger successes along the way instead of trying to put all your eggs in one basket. And I definitely relate to a lot of the frustration because I mean, things on the internet, they do change so dang super quickly. And many times it seems like once you've, finished one course, you bought one product, or you put in one plugin, now it's time to throw it out and put another one in. I can definitely relate to that. I can definitely relate to kind of seeing what other people are doing and trying to follow in their footsteps, which is almost impossible, right? Because you're like, how can I get to everything they have? They have so many followers, they have such a big list, they have such a slick site, they have so many things set up. How can I even begin to create even 1% of what they made? And I don't even know if I should be copying what they're doing. And if I copy them, aren't I sort of a me too? And aren't I sort of like following someone who's like kind of faking it till they making it? And many times, maybe it feels like the internet and this whole internet marketing thing, maybe it feels like it's a whole dang lottery. And you know what? If you have no plan, if you're just kind of guessing around, then it does sort of feel like you're rolling the dice every single day, right? It does feel like a coin flip. It does feel like the only way I could make it work is luck. And so what we want to do today is give you a real plan, give you some real strategies, so that way you can, I mean, there's still, I guess, a little bit of luck involved, but we want to remove as much of the luck as possible and put you in the driver's seat and get you taking some action. That way you can do some stuff, see some results, do some more stuff, see some more results. That sounds like a really good idea for me. So that question box is filled up. We're live at the moment right now. Thanks for asking, Mr. Reggie. And we're going to talk about this thing called membership sites. And as you were talking there, Mr. Lance, like I kind of went off on a different track and pulled up some tabs. And so one thing I want to sort of make you guys aware of as we're getting started today is, even in this day and age, even when people say, oh, well, Facebook took over everything, there's no point in making a cool site. There's this site called Nextdoor, and this right here, what we're looking at, it's a free membership site that I'm a member of. And so basically what happened with this particular site that some company created was, on Facebook, a lot of people started creating these things called Facebook groups, right? And people in like a town or a neighborhood or a subdivision or something would make these groups, and they'd all join to like share garage sale stuff or share neighborhood watch stuff. And then so this sort of membership site here called Nextdoor, they kind of said, all right, well, people are making these Facebook groups for this thing. Let's make a website all about just for your neighbors to sort of chat with each other. And then they built the list, and then now they're starting to plug in real estate listings and things like that, which I found kind of interesting. So they have all these people talking about, oh, my stupid neighbor put out rat poison, or someone's like, I'm trying to sell my old sign. And so they built this list, and then now they started to put offers in front of people saying, well, if you live here or you want to live in this neighborhood, here's this home for sale. And I found that very interesting. I also found it interesting. Have you guys heard of this website, Airbnb? And this is like one of the coolest websites ever, because if you ever want to go on a trip somewhere, instead of staying in a boring hotel room, you can stay in a bamboo house or things like that. And again, this is also a membership site, and maybe not the kind of membership site that you think of, right? Usually people think of, well, let me figure out how to charge $30 a month for something, which is backwards. What you should be doing instead is giving people what they want, and you all have things that people want. And this kind of thing, this is like a crazy sort of cool site to give you an idea of what's possible. But what I want you to be thinking about is, okay, well, maybe there's this site like Nextdoor or like Airbnb, and maybe someone needs help using the site, right? If someone wanted to list on this site, maybe you could be that helping person, and maybe you figure out how to become the person that sells their service on how to sculpt a head from an imagination, if that's your kind of thing, and then maybe make some sort of a training course on how to do that. Or if you were the kind of person that rented out a room or rented out a house or something, maybe you could say, well, there's this site and there's all these possibilities, there's all these do's and don'ts, but I'm the one that gives you the step-by-step plan. Now that's the low-hanging fruit. That's an easy win for you, is to teach people how to do something. And we're going to be talking about that today. But first, let's clear out all the crap out of your brain, as Mr. Lance said. And we'd really like it if you close the door, turn off music, turn off TV if you can, so that way you can 100% stay focused, even for a little bit. Because every time that I've dabbled, I've half-assed things, it hasn't worked out. I've always been unhappy. Those times when I got excited, when I got focused, when there was nothing else distracting me, that's when I make the most money. That's when I get the most kind of stuff done. That's when it feels like the things that used to take me months and months to do, I can knock out in a few days. So here's my questions for you, and you don't have to really answer them or anything, but maybe just sort of think today, for the rest of today, about some of these different things. So do you clear out the negative stuff? Like, if someone else is sort of always bringing you down, or making fun of your online business, or making fun of what you're trying to do with your passive income and your membership sites, maybe it's time to either set some boundaries or get rid of them, or not talk to them so much about your business if 100% of the time, it's always a down response. And maybe even you found yourself falling into a pattern of always looking at the downside of things, always looking at the but of things. Well, maybe if you're being so negative, don't be the negative person. But being positive on its own doesn't get you anywhere, right? You feel good, but you don't take action. So are you also taking action every single day and course correcting any problem that you have, right? Maybe if, like, even before we started here, Lance was saying like his desktop wasn't working, so he went and turned on his laptop, logged in real quick. But a lot of people would say, oh, computer's not working, I guess today's over. So you're always going to be guaranteed being coming across any kind of roadblock, obstacle, and a lot of people see the smallest, tiniest roadblock as a sign to quit. But you should do the opposite. Use it as a way to be your best self and rise up against to the challenge, and be curious and maybe even willing to be proven wrong from time to time. And if it seems like there's always some new plugin to learn, there's always some new thing to worry about with websites. Like, people always get me worried about, like, oh, well, you gotta have your site on you need to have a secure site, or you need to have these legal pages on your site, or who knows about this law or that law. And there's all kinds of just chaos coming along. And I mean, do you think in the coming years that there's going to be more noise, there's going to be more stuff to sift through, or less? Of course it's going to be more. So like, either the world has to change or you need to change, right? So if you can change, and if you always see just like an ocean of tons and tons of stuff to be worried about, just think about what's the little few droplets that are relevant to you out of that whole ocean. So you might see tons and tons of stuff, but simplifying the information down into an actionable manner. I know that school messed us up all up a little bit, because for school we always studied for the test. So if you see on YouTube, there's like a bunch of videos, or maybe even what we want you to do is buy our membership cube course. And if you log in, a lot of people are tempted to say, oh, there's all these videos and things, let me watch them all 3 times, let me take a bunch of notes. But that to me sounds like a lot of work. We'd rather you see what there is there, simplify it to what makes sense to you, and then take some action based on that. What kind of action? The action that follows the money, the action that leads to someone buying from you. So think about it. Everyone wants a membership site, right? I mean, a lot of people say they don't, but everyone wants a membership site. It's easy money. It's the future. It's a great way to easily manage your business. Makes it way easier to outsource things if your business takes off, you want to grow a team. And above all of that, it just looks more credible. It's something more stable than some of these fly-by-night businesses that you might have seen. I mean, our membership cube site, we've had just that site in particular around for 8 years. Not to brag, and we've changed it up over the years and stuff like that. But we take some pride in the fact that we're not going anywhere. We're not like some of these people that like set up a site, 2 weeks later they're gone off to the next thing. So we want you to follow the money, and that means completing what you start and having a real goal. Think about it. You want to have a membership site. Well, can someone join your membership site if it's not finished? No, it needs to be finished. Can someone join your membership site if there's no button for them to click on and join? No, they need to click on that. So with all that sort of being said, I know that there's like, you might be feeling spread so thin, pulled in different directions. So here's the solution. Ask yourself a clear question. Most people don't ask themselves questions. And I don't know about you, but if I just write down like a word or a bullet point, I look at it later, I'm like, what did that word mean? What was I doing? But you can always understand a question that you ask yourself. So how about this? A question. Well, am I making money in my business or not? Yes or no? Am I making as much money as I'm happy with? Yes or no? All right, well, what can I do today to make more money? Or who's paying me money already? And if there's no place for someone to pay me money, maybe that's a clear sign that I need to have a web page, I need to have a button, I need to have a way for someone to pay me money. Ask a clear question, and then now you know what the clear answer is answering. And think about this. There's this old Chinese proverb that says the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. And I heard about this quote years and years ago, and then it came back at one point when me and Lance were in a mastermind meeting, and people were asking about a particular membership technique that Lance had sort of pioneered in a lot of ways. It was this whole idea of someone joins your site, and then they immediately become an affiliate for your site, and they refer their all their friends and people like that to grow your site and make it go viral. And a lot of people had all these different opinions in this whole room about it, and they were kind of like either like interrupting Lance or not really letting him talk. And I was just sort of dumbfounded because Lance was the only one in the whole room that had done this particular technique that they were all asking about and that they all had, questions and opinions about. So everyone else had an opinion and everyone else was loud and pushy, but then none of them had done it. And Lance was just being kind of like a normal person. Like maybe you've been in that situation where you kind of like, everyone else is pushy and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna play their game. I'm not gonna lower myself to their level. I'll just let them think what they want to think. And it just sort of like, and you might have come across this over and over again where it's like, all right, well, the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. Zig Ziglar says, don't let someone who gave up on the dreams talk you out of going after yours. So if you've already made up your mind about, well, does this membership site, internet marketing thing work or not? Are membership sites easy to set up or hard to set up? If you've already made your decision about that already, well, here's my question for you. Would you rather be proven right that none of this works or that you can't do it? Or do you want to be proven wrong a little bit and then have a successful business and then now your opinion has slightly changed? Why did you even start in the first place? At one point, you were excited about this internet thing, and maybe over time you've been sort of, beaten down, screwed over too many times, or discouraged, or whatever happened. Just think back to at one point you were excited. At one point, the magic was possible. So if you've lost that, maybe it's time to think back about why you've lost that and get it again. Ask yourself some questions, give yourself a clear answer. And for me, that means every day having a handful of things I need to do, right? Just write down a couple of my quick goals for the day, or even writing a few sentences about what progress I've made that day. And even if you're trying to figure things out, right? Even if you've never made a website before, never made a membership site before, never made a sale before, whatever, if you're setting things up, maybe just write a couple sentences about, well, what are you doing? What are you measuring? And then maybe that way you know what's important and what's not, and then you can delete the stuff that's wasting your time, not making you money. You get a sense of priorities, you get that sense of urgency. Now you can focus on what you're doing to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. And a lot of people just have a lack of self-esteem, and that manifests themselves as making fun of others, resenting people, but then at the same time, they kind of can't stay away from the train wreck, right? They're kind of always hating on people, but they also seem to always be in that comment section, or they can't really stay away from that. So sort of interesting, and I'm sure you've seen, people doing that, or making things more difficult on themselves, making things take longer than they should, blaming others, having that victimhood, having that lack of control. And I say people, and I don't mean you, but right, some people in your inner circle, they might have already made their mind up about something, and maybe you kind of see the same person asking around or maybe asking you the same question over and over again until they get the answer they were looking for. Funny how that sometimes works. And so Dr. Steve Maraboli, this guy says, every time I thought I was being rejected, I was actually being redirected to something better. So the past doesn't matter that much. What matters is what you do starting today, right? What are you going to do starting today? And here's what our master plan is for you. This is what we're going to be talking about today, this thing called the membership cube. And it's this: get to the point where you can charge somebody or something one time, right? Even if it's one person $10, that's greater than $0. And then what's great about this is once you have some sort of a solution, some sort of a course set up, how to play guitar, how to host an Airbnb, you can pull out a piece of that and give that little piece away for free. That way you can whet people's appetite. That way you can do this thing people talk about called building a list. And then the rest is easy. The rest sort of sets itself up as the next step in the process. So you can then add enough bonuses to make what's called a payment plan or a fixed term site, where maybe you charge on a monthly basis, but then those monthly payments stop after a few months. You can add a one-on-one link, or have a way so people can hire you for coaching or things like that. You can create something ongoing and even send out DVDs or thank you cards or books. And in this day and age, of being able to hit a button on a phone and a car pulls up and takes you anywhere, all this is way easier than it was even just a couple of years ago. So pay very close attention. There are 6 sides to a cube. We want you to set up a single payment membership site, a free membership site, a fixed term membership site, a coaching membership site, a continuity membership site, and a physical membership site. And if all this sounds like a lot of crazy stuff, well, you're probably right, but you don't want to set all this up right away. But the goal of today is to get you excited about membership sites, is to get you excited about the possibilities. And here is the inside of one of our membership sites. And what I want for you, my number one goal, this would make me like, I don't know how to do a backflip, but this would make me do backflips if I found out that you made a site just like this one that we're looking here, where someone can pay you money, log in, and just see like a few things they can get, a few steps they can take, a little bit of a grid or a library of things helping them out for how to rent on Airbnb, how to race drones, how to learn a language. And what we then do is when me and Lance make a membership site, if it's working, if it's rocking and rolling, why would we stop there? If one membership site's a good idea, why not try some other interesting ideas for membership sites? And, I think about the first time I made a membership site, I don't even know how many months or years it took me or how many failed attempts it took me to get to that first one. But once I got to that first one, so many amazing things happened. So many different things clicked, and then it became easier and easier. I mean, isn't that true that every time you struggled and struggled and couldn't kind of get to that first one, once you got to that first one, the rest were easy, right? Just think about your first girlfriend or your first boyfriend. It probably took a while to get to that first one, but after that, easy, easy. The first time you drove a car, or the first time you drove a car long distance, man, I think my first time I think I drove like 90 minutes in a car from like up to like Sacramento and Roseville and stuff, and I was like so like keyed up, and the whole rest of the day I was like all just in a really bad mood. And now driving an hour or two is no sweat. So we want that to be like that for you, where when you just have an idea for something, you want to generate some extra money for whatever reason, pay off some bills, get out of debt, travel, whatever. You have an idea. We want you to just rush and get some of these cool things done. And so you might have seen membership sites that look slick like this. This is very easy to do if you have a system, if you have a step-by-step sort of checklist process. Same thing with this thing called a sales letter. In this day and age, there's no need to have a designer or to know designing yourself. You can just use WordPress, plug in a theme, and we'll give you this plugin right here that gives you a sales letter. And again, we just use it over and over again. And our sales letters and things, they can look slightly different, but the great news about these things called sales letters is it's all about the text. It doesn't matter so much about fancy graphics or things like that. All it matters is someone comes to your page, they have a problem, they see your solution, they go and they buy it. So pretty simple if you have done it, and then you can just do it over and over again. And then the thing that most people won't tell you about membership sites, because they themselves haven't had one for a decent amount of time, or they haven't really mastered membership sites, is the ability to have this all in one dashboard and see it all in one place. So I took this screenshot last night of our site called Backup Creator, which has 9,100 members. Now, with all those 9,100 members, what if on one particular day, what if 10%, what if 910 people said, oh, I forgot my password, what's my login? How long would it take to answer 910 emails and answer all this stuff? I mean, how many employees would that take? How many weeks would that take? With a membership site, it's all done automatically, and people can buy multiple things from one site. We can see who's in one site and who's not in one site. We can see things like there's this column here, and I mean, I didn't show all the levels on this site, but we see there's like this full, there's developer people, there's ultimate people. Each of these numbers are people in our site. And then these things in red are people who have canceled or refunded. So when people say, oh, I'm afraid of making a product or a membership site, I'm afraid about refunds. Well, instead of being afraid, how about you do it and then look at the data and see if you actually had some refunds, and see how, out of like 519 or out of 2,800, how many people actually refunded. And then you see, well, it's not that big of a deal. And then here's another one of our sites called Membership Cube, and we have 7,000 people in that site. And you might be thinking, whoa, how do you manage 7,000 people? Well, number one, they're on these different levels, they've bought different things, and not everyone in our membership cube site, not everyone in most of our membership sites is actually paying us month after month, right? Some people pay us one time, some people pay us low ticket, high ticket, some people are on a payment plan, and no matter what people are doing, it makes it so easy to see how many people are in there, who exactly is in there, and then once we build it up, we can start to kind of dig deep and make different decisions and say, oh well, if a bunch of people are buying product A, but only a few are buying product B, that means we need to sort of figure out why that is or market that more. And I don't know about you, but the things that excite me the most about membership sites are things like this. So here's Airbnb again. And what this site does, again, Airbnb, a place where you can kind of go on vacation and stuff like that, but it's a membership site, right? You get an account to do searches, to book stays and things like that. And then based on your searches, every now and then they send an email saying, well, hey, we saw you were looking at different places. Why don't you stay on a pirate ship? So like sort of interesting. And so a lot of people, again, they look at the downside of membership sites. They think that it's going to be some huge chore. They're going to have to put out like a lesson every month. But you think about sites like Airbnb, for example, where like they're not really putting out content, right? They just have something in place that people want. So delivering a solution people want doesn't always equal pumping out tons and tons of content just for the sake of it. All right, so it's decision time. But the good news is I'm going to tell you what sort of the answers to some of these decisions are, or make them as simple as possible. Here's the first thing. Why do you want to have a membership site in the first place? Well, the reason is so that you can actually manage all those thousands of people. I mean, if you ever get to the point where thousands of people join your site, you're going to want a way to manage them, right? And even if you say, well, I'm not thinking that big, I just want to have like a small tribe of people and maybe charge them like a high price point, like a few $100s or something, or a few $1,000s, and maybe only have a few hundred people in that sort of site. Well, still, how much are you going to have to pile in there, right? And if you say, well, I'm going to add in videos, or I have a cool idea for making my course a little bit different, well, to pile in all this stuff in a course, you're going to need a membership site for that. Even if, say, they pay you $1,000 one time, they get all this cool stuff. That way you can make it simple, you can add to it. But either way, if you have thousands of people low ticket or a few people high ticket, either way you're going to need a way to manage that. And luckily with membership sites, that is point and click simple. But then people say, all right, you sold me a membership site, but now what about the technical stuff? What hosts it? Our answer is this: WordPress. Set up WordPress on your own website. Chances are you either have a website or you can easily set one up. And the reason for this is that before this thing called WordPress existed, you had to choose one or the other. You had to choose between something that was simple but didn't do what you wanted, or something that did everything that you wanted, that was expandable, but it was hard to use. And the good thing about this thing called WordPress is it's literally the only software product that I think has mastered both. That it's simple to use, you click around, but then it can also do literally anything that you want. And the reason why it can do anything that you want, because you add these things called plugins or add-ons, again, with one click, and now, great, now all these possibilities open. And so before with WordPress, it was like, all right, I can make a website, I can add some content, I can make a blog. You install this plugin here called Wishlist Member, and then now you can guard the access to that site. Or now you can sell multiple products. Those are called levels, right? So, for example, we have we have a course called WP Crusher we just put out, right? And there's the main course of that. There's the WordPress stuff, but then we also are adding in some plugins. People can buy just the course, but if they want to buy one or a few or all of the plugins in that, they can then choose to upgrade to all that. And that's called levels. That makes it super simple. And then we have our package inside of Membership Cube with different plugins of our own that do some amazing things that we're going to show you today. You can add a quick checklist to your site. You can collect mailing addresses for your site. You can drip content. You can add fill in the blank forms. You can add all this interesting stuff. So now you say, well, that's great, right? Membership site, all right. WordPress, all right. But now what am I going to set up? Well, there's a thing called resale rights, and this part's sort of up to you to do your own research, But do a Google search, maybe later on this week, do a Google search of resale rights and then the name of your niche or the name of your idea. So I don't know if there's like Airbnb resale rights or drone racing resale rights. I'm sure there's learn a language resale rights, and you're going to be shocked at how cheap some of this stuff is. And sometimes for $20, you can now buy these videos and you can buy the rights to sell them on your own, keep 100% of the money, and then now you have instant content. Now you have something there that gets you by now. And if you decide then, well, I want to make my own additional videos, or I want to see if this sells first, and if it sells, then I'll record my own videos and replace what I've recorded with that. But now these are good decisions to make, right? Because before it was like, well, which decision do I make? I don't know, which membership site, this one or that one. Well, that's sort of like, would you rather be shot in the arm or the leg? I don't know. But when you make these better decisions, it's like, well, do I want to make this this decision that makes me some money or even more money? Those are the sorts of decisions I like to make. And what we want to tell you is, when you make a membership site, I know that it took me so long to unlearn this, right? Membership site, I kept thinking that means something monthly. But membership site can just be $10, $100, one time, that's it. You want to learn Spanish, $100, here's my videos, done and done. And then use what's called a PayPal button. And Lance and I mean, we understand, like, we're computer geeks. We understand that some of these other computer geeks, they tell you, well, here's all the software, here's all this tools, whatever. And then sometimes the sort of human factor, the people, get left behind in the mix. It's just like, here's this software, who cares about what you do? Well, we understand that sometimes people say, get a merchant account, get a Stripe account, get all these things. And our answer is, just use this thing called PayPal. PayPal allows you to place a button on your page, and it's free. They just take a very small percentage, and then just, the processing fee, and then that's a way that you can get money now. And later on, if you hear that, ClickBank is better or Stripe is better or anything like that, then you can switch out just that one piece. But let's not make this harder than it has to be. Let's not put in unnecessary obstacles in front of us. Let's just get it done. Resale rights, single payment site, PayPal button. And then you might be thinking, all right, well, that sounds good, but how do I differentiate? Well, there are a bunch of different ways. And like we said, this is the training where we get you excited about the possibilities, the opportunities in front of you. And here's a few ways to differentiate. Everyone else gives tips about selling on Airbnb, tips about learning a language. What if you actually said, here's how to get from point A to point B? Here's how to get started quickly. Here's how I can sort of, I know I keep saying sort of every couple of minutes, but here's how I can work in all these quick tips, or get you excited, or give you the course that I wish I'd had about drone racing. Or what if you just added a little bit of that human touch and you said, well, if someone bought my course, I'll mail them some DVDs in the mail. I'll send them a thank you card in the mail. Lance and I love this service called Send Out Cards, because you can mail these really delicious brownies to people, and I think it's something like $7 for like 4 of these. It's amazing. They're the best brownies I've ever had in my life. And literally, we can click a button and mail it off to someone. No baking required, no going to the post office. It's all handled for us. Maybe if you added assignments or challenges in your courses and said, I taught you this quick session, but now it's your turn to do some sort of exercise. Or so many people just forget about these things called templates. One of our favorite students from back in the days, named Larry Hoffman, learned about membership sites from us, learned about products from us, and made these real estate courses. And he said, I'll teach you real estate. I'll teach you how to buy a distressed property, fix it up, sell it. And people said, well, that's great, but how do I do all that, right? What sort of legal forms do I need? What classified ads do I need? What about the for sale signs? And he said, here you go. Here's all my classified ad templates. Here's my for sale signs. Way, way better than most courses out there. So to make your website, WordPress plus the Wishlist member plugin. And by the way, if you can stay till the end, I want to give this to you for free. The Wishlist member plugin, it's $297 to set up as many sites as you want for as many years in the future as you want, free today, if you can stay to the end. I want to show you how to make a payment button using PayPal. If you've heard about this thing like list building, or if you got to build a list, Our solution for that is Aweber. It's one of the cheapest ones. It's the easiest. It gets the job done. And then to make this thing called a sales letter, to make a web page to convince people to buy, our plugin is called Paper Template. I want to give you that today too. So you have this point and click simplicity with everything, with WordPress, with Wishlist, with PayPal, with Paper Template. It gets you by today, plus it can expand to whatever you want. And I'm not sure what you're thinking or what's going through your mind right now, but I keep hearing this, especially lately, and they say, we are listing off all these things that work together, but isn't this sort of gluing things together in your business? Isn't this duct taping it all together? Well, here's the real truth about that. Some people say don't use WordPress. They say here's all these reasons not to use WordPress, whatever. And then I look at what they tell me to use instead. Well, first of all, some people just are downers and they say don't use this. Well, I'm not going to listen to you saying don't use this unless you tell me what to use instead. They tell me what to use instead, and it's something that just came out a few months ago, or it just has not been proven or has not been used by a lot of people. And I'm thinking, well, if that new solution, if that hasn't been around for longer than a few months, will it be around in a few months from now? Well, I know WordPress will. We used it for over 10 years. And with WordPress, you're not going to be locked into some sort of monthly package. And again, when me and Lance have done one-on-one coaching with people and things like that, so many times people just said, I'm locked into this other platform. Help me get off of it. Help me get off to my own site, to WordPress, so I can do more things, and so that they can't keep jacking the price up on me like they're doing. And then there's no way to even get them off those platforms. And it's like, we're kind of locked in there, not fun. And the thing about some of these other alternatives, and if you think about that word alternative, it sounds like, oh, well, it's not the number one main thing I should use, right? It's something off to the side. These alternatives, they don't tell you that you end up having to glue or duct tape together even more stuff. Or if you don't want to duct tape together, you just don't get those features. So many, and I don't want to single out any hosted platform because they're always trying to catch up and things like that. And I don't want to diss anybody, but some of these hosted platforms, just be really careful because some of them you can't send emails to your members, or you can't host your files, or they say, well, the solution to this is to sign up to Amazon, or to sign up to Stripe, or sign up to SendGrid. And next thing I say, well, I went to your platform because you said I didn't have to sign up for 5 things. Now I'm signing up for 10 things. And again, we blurred out the details because we don't want to, trash anybody. But the other day, I noticed in a group for a membership platform, someone said, if you take a PayPal payment and later on, if you sell your company or you want to switch accounts, you can't. You're locked in. Or if you don't want that, you delete your whole site, start over. I'm just thinking, oh, that's terrible. Someone else said in a different membership platform, they said, okay, well, I made a membership site and I have students in my course. I have a list of like 20, 30 people. Can I just put them in? And they say, nope, you can't put in 20 people. You're going to have to put them in all one at a time, or send them over to a link and just kind of cross your fingers and hope that they'll all register themselves. I don't think that's a real solution. Or even literally yesterday, somebody said, all right, you told me I can host a membership site with you. I want to put my stuff on there. I just want to put a 3 megabyte file on there. Just a quick, 2-minute video, or a quick, like 10, 20 page document. And then everyone said, oh, well, this solution that's been marketed as it has everything. They said, oh, well, put it on a WordPress site. I'm thinking, but isn't this the thing that you're supposed to be leaving WordPress for? And they're saying Google Drive, Amazon S3, Zapier. So now I'm thinking, well, you sold me on that this was the all-in-one solution, and now I have even more questions than if I had just gone with a WordPress site. And so I don't mean to make fun of anyone, but the grass is always greener on the other side. And what we like to do is the proven solution, the one that makes the most sense. So have a membership site, that way you can scale, you can sell both high and low ticket, use WordPress, use Wishlist Member, use PayPal, and then think of a way that you can differentiate after you set it up. The choice of your platform isn't going to be the thing that makes you a ton more sales. It's going to be once you get something set up, once you get your course, your membership site, whatever idea you have in your head set up, then you can think of different little twists and stuff like that to stand out from the crowd. So here's the thing. Most people, when they think about their membership site, first of all, they don't think of things in terms of a solution. Think of it as a solution. People have a problem, you have a solution. And then they think of this as like a huge to-do list or a year-long timeline. Well, I'm just telling you, just stop right now. Here are the questions I have. Remember how we said, ask a good question, think of a good answer. Ask yourself, who has this problem? Someone, maybe they can't race drones, maybe they got one for their birthday, they keep crashing it, they're afraid to crash it. That's the person I'm thinking of. What is their exact problem? Do they want to race drones professionally or just for fun? What's the existing solution? What other things are out there? I'm sure there are courses on how to fly a drone out there somewhere. Maybe you've bought some of them if you're in that niche, but why do those suck? Every time you look at your competitors, I know it might be a little painful, but I hate that feeling of looking at competitors and saying, man, they're making so much money with just barely even trying. I could do way better. I want it way more. I could blow them out of the water. And then you blow them out of the water by having this unique twist that makes you better. Maybe you fill in the gaps, or maybe you do something that the others don't even think about, or maybe you can show someone how to do it simpler or faster, whatever. And then here is the biggest thing that so many people don't even know this is a question to be asking. How can you solve that problem that those people have with your solution that's unique? How can you solve that in 7 to 30 days? I don't have months to figure this out. I want it now. I want it in the next few days or tonight. How can you do that? And then think about what are 4 milestones to get someone there from point A, where they can't speak Spanish, or they can't rent on an Airbnb, or they can't fly a drone, to point B, which is now they're making money renting out a room in their house, or now they're having fun flying their drone, or whatever it is. And then once you answer those few questions, and by the way, we're going to have the replay for this in the members area. So you join Membership Cube right now and you'll have that recording. So now you can create your offer. And this is how we create our offers when we say, well, we're going to make a course on WordPress, Facebook Live, anything like that. We don't just inch people along. We say there are clear stepping stones to get someone there. That way people have small wins and they can stop at any time or take a break or whatever. So first of all, we call these modules. So you make your first module of your site and you ask yourself, what's one huge win that gets someone going tonight? So you join our membershipcube.com course. You get a membership site online today, tonight. Is it completely filled up? Well, no, but you have something set up that you wouldn't have had before. So what's a huge win you can get your people to have it set up? For the next module, now that's set up, what's an even bigger result that's like the real exciting reason? A lot of people, they wait till like the end of a course to have like the real good stuff. Now this is like, all right, you got the quick win, you got the basic stuff out of the way. Now this is the big hit. And then for your next module is something that is important, but maybe is long term, maybe is more slow paced, that wouldn't have sold the course on its own, but it's important, you fit it in. And then you get to the end of this course and you say, now that I've put these 3 things in place, what are the loose ends I missed, or what are some case studies to, now that they have the foundational knowledge, now how can they see this done in action? And then you add what's called a challenge or an assignment for each module, and then you can get to the fun part is just figuring out, how am I going to sell this dang thing, or what goodies will I add? So you might add a bonus that has a master checklist of the entire course. Maybe you take some notes and put it in a short report. Maybe you buy these things called resale rights and you add in a quick bonus video, bonus report, bonus piece of software that someone else made, you buy the rights to, or even have a quick coaching call, right? Someone joins the drone racing course and they can meet with you for 30, 40 minutes and chit chat on the phone, and just they tell you your problem, you give them some advice. So I don't know about you, but breaking down this problem into a step-by-step process makes it doable, and we want to show you how to do that in our Membership Cube course. So then you can make what's called a sales letter and ask yourself, what's the problem people are having that brought them to my site? What's my solution that solves that problem? What's inside that solution? And then how can someone buy that solution from me? Seems simple when we've broken it down like this, but maybe you've seen a big long sales letter and thought, how can I even do that? You can do that by answering some quick and simple questions. and then you send traffic. And then once things are set up, you get as many eyeballs as possible from your email list, from Facebook, from Twitter, from wherever to the site. And now the fun begins because you can iterate. You can add an extra bonus, extra traffic source, extra thing on the sales letter, and then build up the cube. Charge one time, pull out a free piece for list building, add bonuses for a payment plan, add a coaching level, create something ongoing, and then bring them into the physical world. If that means mailing them a book, a report, a manual, a DVD, brownies. I think send out cards could even send like teddy bears and things like that. There are 6 sides to a cube, a single payment site, which you make first. Then you pull out and by the way, this is all on the same site. So you make that single payment option, you pull out the little piece to give away for free, then you chop it up and charge for a payment plan. So maybe you can say, all right, well, it's $1,000 or a few payments, and once the payments are done, then it's over with. And then you can say, well, once you've finished my course, now what? Now here's the coaching option. Now here's the ongoing course where we meet every single month. And then here is where maybe you can buy something physical, or I can just send you something physical in the mail for fun. I can write something down on an index card, mail it, send you a quick postcard. So that all sounds good, right? But again, I'm very aware that if we get too far along in the process, now we're getting sort of like you're not really sure if you can do this yourself. Am I right? I mean, if you think that we're on the right track, can you go in the question box and type in the word yes really quick? Because I want to make sure that I know I'm throwing out a lot of stuff, but it's really important that we just kind of see what excites you, see what makes you perk up, because we're listing a lot of things about what you can do in the future, and you don't have to understand the whole entire picture just to take some action. What's the saying? It's like Martin Luther King says, like, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just need to take the first step. So here's the first thing that I hope gets you interested and kind of gets the brain gears turning, gets the sparks flying, is address collection. Everyone always says you got to build your list, got to build your database, got to have their offline information, and not just their email, but you got to know what's their physical mailing address, because then you could send them something, or you can look at all my customers all focused in one area or one state, so that way I know, like, if I ever do a live event, if I'm ever going to a conference, I know where my people are. Or I can run some things and figure out like what neighborhoods they live in, all that fancy stuff. Collect people's physical addresses. Here's how you do it. You make a membership site. We give you all the tools and training in our course in Membership Cube. We give you the plugin to collect their addresses. They log into your site. They see a pop-up that asks for their name, their company, their physical mailing address, their website, their phone number, and they can choose to fill in it not at all. They can choose to fill in some of this, and if you happen to have bought things from us before, even for like a $7 plugin, we'll still ask you for your mailing address, and most people choose to fill it in. Some people don't, but if they do, that gives us just some more options, right? We can always send a thank you card, shoot them a quick thank you phone call, brownies, anything like that. Call them to say thank you, mail out a postcard, or send these sort of brownies. And so, sort of along those lines, along the lines of like kind of a personal touch, the guy that introduced me today, my business partner, we've been working for years and years to make everything together, he showed me the power of the follow-up. So this guy, I mean, it was like a whole lifetime ago. I mean, it was like years and years ago. He joined a course as my student and then kept on kind of persisting and was like a star student and almost borderline, like not really stalked me, but just kind of kept following up. And then we began creating more and more stuff together. And now I couldn't imagine making a course without the guy. So he showed me this power of the follow-up, of address collection, of sending out cards, brownies, things like that. And here is the plugin in action. Very simple. Someone buys from us, they pay us money, they join the site. And by the way, this works on a free site if you're interested in about that too. But anyway, they join the site, and then when they join, this pop-up appears. And sometimes their information is already somewhat filled in. You can say, is this is this your real address or not? They can confirm it, and then it mails us a quick message. It adds it to a database. We can see their information, and then we can just easily go in and ship the physical product or ship the thank you card or anything like that just right to them. So pretty interesting how one plugin just adds so much functionality, and then what you can do is collect these addresses, and even if you don't know quite yet what you're going to do with those addresses, put them on the Christmas card list, or maybe just write out a quick message in a week, or do a mail merge if you want to get crazy. Or I'm sure you can hire somebody. I'm sure you can pay someone $100 for them to send out 100 letters for you or something like that. And so, but you can't do anything until you collect their physical addresses. So in Membership Cube, we give you the plugin that does that. So here's the next interesting person that I want to tell you about, and his name's Armand Morin. He taught me so much. Me and Lance both were in his mastermind for a number of years, and this guy had different offers and things like that. But what made me buy from him, what pushed me over the edge, and I think that we've all kind of been there, right? Haven't you ever like been shopping for a car and said, I don't know which car I want, but then you find the one that has just what you want, or has just the right color, or the price is just right, or looks so slick, and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I can't let this car sit for a couple of days because if I come back it'll be gone. Or your dream house, or whatever it was. Like, we've all had that. Or maybe like some goodie on Amazon, or some kind of clothes or electronics item, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like if I wait, this will be gone. And so that was the feeling I had when this guy Armand Morin said, you can join my course, join my mastermind, because you're going to get this 100-point checklist. And I was like, well, what's in it? Can you even tell me like 5 of the things? He's like, nope, you're going to, like, this is a thing. You need to have this in your business if you want to survive. Have put these 100 points in place. And I was like, I've got to have it. I've got to join, because just the fact that it's a 100-point list means I can just kind of start off and I can look at where I'm at right now. Am I missing some of the 100 points? How can I get all of the 100 points that he has? I want to get to 100%, don't you? Would you rather be at 12% or 50%? I'd rather be at 100%. And so he made me think about teaching a step-by-step process, having your templates, showing someone how to get from point A to point B, which seems like a simple concept, but most people forget to do it. And so we made this plugin that allows you to do all these different things, because most things that you want to teach people, most things that you want people to repeat, involve templates. I'm not sure if drone racing involves certain kinds of maneuvers or things like that, but I'm sure it involves using certain kinds of equipment, mastering certain things, or doing a step-by-step process when you first launch, or when you land, or things like that. Or there was that real estate guy who sold the templates of his signs, his classified ads. I'm sure that with learning a language, there are the common things. And so you're going to want to sell your templates as part of your course. Maybe not now, but eventually. And you can do this in a number of ways. You can say, here's this copy and paste thing, here's these fill in the blanks things, here are these graphics, here are these documents. And so we added this plugin. And so here's a look inside another one of our membership sites. We have a ton of these, by the way. Why? Because if I set one up and I make a bunch of passive income, why wouldn't I set a bunch of them up and have a bunch of passive income? So here's one of our sites, which is about how to I guess there's all these voice actors and people, right? And we teach voice actors how to go on the internet and how to make money from their voice. And we have videos and PDF documents and stuff like that. And we scroll down and there's like helpful links to what we were talking about. But then check out this. After we teach something, we ask questions, and people can click on these and then answer them. And then this link changes. And this link changes only for them, only for this one person. No one else can see it. And if they log in later, their changes stay in there. And then we have these different copy and paste scripts, and they can just click on this copy to clipboard and then paste it in wherever it needs to be pasted in. And then even on the bottom, there's a note-taking area right here where someone can say, oh, great, I watched 30 minutes, I got this and that out of it, and then they can save their own personal notes, which again, they can come back to at any time. No hunting around for the Word document they typed it in, no hunting around for scraps of paper. It's stored in the exact membership site that they were in. And then, don't tell anyone about this, or don't tell your members about this, but you can see what they said. You can see their own notes they made in your membership site, and we can see that so someone liked our template but kind of added their own, and we're like, well, this is interesting. Or we're looking at how far people are getting in our course. So these people are making commitments to getting a certain task done by a certain time, or we're looking at what kind of keywords there are. So in a way, we're spying on people a little bit, and this gives us ideas on, well, how's the course going? Are people finishing it? Are they getting stuck somewhere? Could we add in some of those extra helpful links or maybe a couple of extra templates to help move things along? Is this giving us an idea for a bonus to add in, or our next product, or our next membership site? So lots of things to think about, lots of possibilities, which again, a lot of people don't teach this. A lot of people aren't aware of this because they themselves don't use membership sites. We do. Speaking of people who use membership sites, this is one of our favorite coaching clients. His name is Dr. Charles Runels. He's on the news all the time, and he's a doctor who invented a procedure that helps what are they called, like postpartum women who have given birth, help them with incontinence. He helps men who have a thing called Peyronie's disease. It helps a lot of people with like this like blood stuff. And so he has this procedure, and he teaches doctors how to do this procedure. So I don't think he does it very rarely now, but his big moneymaker is licensing out this technique, this procedure, to other doctors who want to make money just like he does. So here's what he did: is he asked us to make this plugin for him, and it's available for you for free, and we've been adding to it for 6 or 7 years now, and it allows you to create a directory. So you know how before we showed you how people can log into your site and a pop-up appears where if they want to submit their phone number or their address, they can? Well, now you can make a member directory to do a number of things. You can either allow your members to find each other, or you can list people publicly in a directory. And here's what's great about all this is if someone joins, they say, I'm not going to fill in my stuff. Great, they're not in the directory. If they confirm their details, now they're in it. And you can even pick and choose which people you want in the directory. And what Dr. Charles loves the most about what we created for him so many years ago, and we continue to improve and use ourselves and others use as well, is that if someone buys from you, whether it's one time or monthly or whatever, if they cancel or quit, they are instantly removed from the directory. So this guy charges $97 a month to these doctors, and a big reason why they join, in addition to having the license to perform this particular procedure and the training on how to do it and all that, but by joining, they're now in a directory, right? So this guy, Dr. Charles, he goes on the news somewhere, and then someone says, oh, well, this procedure called the O shot, I want to get it, but I live in Florida. He doesn't. So then they go and find a doctor in his directory in Florida. So doctors join to be in that directory so that people near them come in and get business. But if they stop paying him, they're out. Now the faucet gets shut off there. And so here's what the directory looks like. We can scroll through, and people can either search by state or find people providers near them, and they can see these doctors' pictures. They can click these mailing address links, and it gives exact Google Maps directions to their office. There's a phone number so they can call their office, and they can see how long they've been a member of this sort of association, how long they've been in this directory. Pretty powerful. And then this other picture I'm showing you is from our voiceover people, where our members wanted the ability to find each other, to see who else was in their group. And so they share different information. They only share their picture and their link to hire them for voiceovers. And the idea here is that there's voiceovers from all different walks of life. Like, these are all men, but let's say that Brandon Banks is British, and he can only do a British accent. And then Brent Jordan here is American. And then Bob Shaw does characters. So if Brandon says, all right, well, someone asked me for a character voice, I'll send him over to Bob. Or Brent says, I'm American, someone wants a British voice, I'll send them over to Brandon. Now the members have yet another reason to join, because they can interact, and another reason not to quit, because they don't want to say goodbye to their friends. Imagine if you stopped paying money, you couldn't use Facebook, you couldn't use your phone, you couldn't talk to your friends, you wouldn't do it. So this is recreating that to some extent within your membership site. So these are additional opportunities for you for address collection, for templates, and your directory. And all this depends on you making your site first, and then you add on these interesting add-ons, these nice to haves. You can add on a challenge or an assignment for your modules. You can add a master or a clickable checklist for your entire course for whatever problem you're solving. You can drip out content itself, drip out bonuses, drip out thank you stuff. We pile in so many cool things. You can make it where people have to click through a legal agreement in order to get access. That way you can prove that that it's them who signed up. You can track your visitors. There's so many interesting things you can do if you use WordPress, use Wishlist Member, use our plugins, and you do things in the right order. That way you set up the simple stuff, the money-making stuff first, and then you can move on to the interesting stuff later. So membership sites. This is what the inside of our membership site looks like, where someone joins, maybe they paid one time, maybe they paid monthly. That part isn't as important as you helping them out, as you providing the solution, and they paid you money to get that problem solved. And then once the membership site is up and running, we just create more and more of them, and then we focus on the sales letter of convincing someone the cool stuff that's in our site, what problems it solve, and then once they're in, we can easily manage all those thousands of people. Again, if there's tons and tons of them that bought over a number of years, if there's only a small group that bought a big package, either way, a membership site is the only way to do it. If you plan on having any number of sales in your business, if you plan on scaling at all, you'd be crazy not to use membership sites. And the problem is, like we said, if you don't use WordPress, you're stuck in one of two extremes. It's either simple, but you can't do anything, or you can do anything, but it's so dang difficult and you have to hire a full-time person. I want to save you the expense of hiring a full-time person. I want to save you the pain of not being able to scale. I want you to reach your full potential, and we want to do it inside our Membership Cube course for you. So how would you like to be able to create all this? Just get the software and get it working. Well, here's the problem with just software, is that the software sort of leaves you hanging to dry, right? I mean, just think about how frustrating maybe it was to use a computer for the first time, right? Or maybe there was like some kind of program you couldn't figure out and there was no help at all. Remember how frustrating that kind of thing was? So you need some sort of a guide. Like a coach is great if someone can meet with you every single day or every single week, but what's easier is a course, right? Because you can just pay one time and you don't have to keep on asking the person questions. You just go through the steps in the course, you watch them do it, you do it as well. You need all the software in one place so that it all works together, and you need to set up the must-haves now and the nice-to-haves after you make a few sales. So there is a simple way. Membership sites are possible, and you can make a membership site, and I want to hold your hand for every step in that process. I want to be me and Lance both, we want to be the reason why you finally broke through and you finally made a membership site. We want to show you that in membershipcube.com. And here's what's inside. You get the membership site set up in the first module. We give you these things called one-click clones where you can click a button, boom, membership site setup. No different things to set up, no different steps. You set it up, cool. Now I have the shell in place. Then we show you how to make a product in an hour and set up these things called dashboards, how to make a sales letter, point and click, how to build a list, how to make a fixed term site, how to create a continuity site and coaching, how to do these interesting things with the physical addresses we showed you, right? With the directory, with the sending out the brownies, sending out the postcards, and then retain your members. How to add these checklists in your site, these fill in the blank forms, these note-taking areas, and there are so many interesting plugins in there. And what's great about it is you can pick and choose depending on where you're at. There's even a plugin in there which we love, we use all the time, where if someone joins one of our sites, it replicates an account over them on the other site, and then if they refund or cancel on the first site, their other accounts canceled as well. So lots of interesting possibilities there. There are 6 sides to a cube. That single payment membership site where you charge $7, you charge $97, whatever. A free membership site, which means you take out a piece, you give it away for free. That becomes a way for someone to sign up for an account from you for free, just like you have a free Facebook account, just like I have a free Nextdoor account, or you might have a free Airbnb account, and that gets someone part of the way there into your site, and then you can make them log in, show them offers, all that fun stuff. A fixed term membership site where now you can add upsells, you can add payment plans. Isn't it interesting where once you have something set up, you can just make these quick decisions that have these massive results? I mean, if I said make a monthly membership site, you say, oh, there's all this stuff to set up. But now I say make a simple site that solves a simple problem. Someone pays you one time for that, and you say, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to charge 20 bucks for that. You charge 20 bucks, make some sales. You say, you know what, that's too cheap. I'm going to make it 50 bucks. Great, now I'm happy with that. I'm going to add some more bonuses now that I have time. I'm going to make it $97. And then you say, now that I have it at $97, I will give someone the choice of paying me $97 completely, or maybe they'll pay me $19.95 over the course of 5 payments spaced 1 month apart. So now you can make these quick decisions that have huge results. A coaching membership site, either a one-on-one or kind of a group monthly coaching, continuity membership site, which is easy money. Not everyone will join your site monthly. I think that's the thing that a lot of these people kind of with their ivory tower, pie in the sky stuff, they say, make a site that's $30 a month, but not everyone is going to buy that $30 a month site. So why not have the best of both worlds? Why not have the site that's one payment that everyone will buy, and then when they buy, give them the option to then do that monthly forever and ever stuff for something else? That makes a lot more sense to me. That sounds more doable. That sounds more sustainable. That sounds more like going after the low-hanging fruit, the easy money, by charging one-time single payment first, and then the monthly stuff is something that comes later on once we get the hang of it. And then have that physical membership site in all those different ways. So we give you all this training, we give you all these bonuses, all these modules, and we even give you a one-on-one private call with the 3 of us, you, me, and Mr. Lance, to either fix up your membership site if you already have it done at that point, or to go through ideas or any place you're stuck, any advice, any strategy. We are at your disposal. 40 minutes. Use this whenever you want, at the beginning, at the end, later on. We'll meet with you. We'll figure out where you're at. We'll get you some help. So all that total, it's up to $5,270. But just the training, what does that get you? The training's good because it gets you over the gotchas, gets you over the hangups, but you need the software to make it work. And how would I just give all that to you for free? I'll give you our checklist software, our video software, our directory and address software, our theme, way to drip content, import, all kinds of interesting stuff. You can use a couple of these plugins or all of them, or work your way up to it, or use some plugins on some sites, others on other sites, for a total value of $2,174 for all the plugins themselves. So training, plugins. Total value so far is $7,444. I know some people are saying in the audience, like, I don't know if I can afford this. Now it's getting up to $7,000. Well, if you don't think that you're ever going to make $7,000 or $8,000 in your business over your lifetime, well, then what are you doing here? So we believe in you. We hope that you believe in yourself too. And then we also have bonuses. We'll make you a done-for-you membership site. You just choose what kind that you want. Give us the details in the site. We'll set it up for you. We'll give you our backup plugin, our sales page plugin. We'll give you the master checklist on how to make your membership site. We give you challenges, assignments, recordings, transcripts, lifetime access for a bonus value of $5,823. So I know we're piling in a lot, but we want to deliver a lot. The training, all this stuff. The bonuses, all this stuff. The plugins, all this stuff, for a value so far of $13,267. So we also give you one-click clones for a sales letter. That way you just say, here's a sales letter site. Now just change up what you want. It's easier to start from something that's like already done, and then you can just change the words, changing like what you want to say. We give you a single payment site, a fixed term site, a continuity site, a coaching site, for a total value with all those one-click clones. You click a button, now you have a site of $2,285. So I know it's a lot, but stay with me here. The training, the bonuses, the plugins, the clones, for a total value of $15,552. So $15,000, I mean, you wouldn't even get a very good car for that much, right? You wouldn't even get a very good house for that much. So it would be worth it to pay $15,000 in order to have monthly income forever and ever? I mean, I think it would, because we give you Wishlist member. You can set it up on as many sites as you want. We give you all these plugins, use them on all your sites as you want over and over again. And even if your projects only make you $10,000 or $20,000, you make another site $10,000 or $20,000. Just repeat your success over and over again. But here's what's even better: is we both know that it's not going to be $15,552 today. It's not going to be 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's not even $5,999 to join today. But it's not even going to be $4,995, even though we give you all that software we explained, and you start with the simple stuff, work your way up as you need it. And if you make a site that charges 99 bucks a month, and you only have 5 members and they only stay in for 5 months, that would add up to $24.75. And it would cost you $21.74 to buy all the plugins separately, and many of them we don't sell them for sale elsewhere. Now, could we bundle this course and add an event and price it at $2,000? Well, sure, but why would we do that? Let's just get you going right now today. It's just $997 today. So here's what I want to tell you: is I think that today can be the day, and needs to be the day, where you finally forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all your past mistakes, or all your past, wasting of time or bad decisions. I mean, we've all made good decisions and bad decisions, right? It's just part of the game. It's just part of life. So forgive yourself, because the past isn't important. It doesn't even matter what mistakes you made in the past, or what opportunities you missed, or how long you waited, whatever. What's important is that you're here. What's important is that you're on the right track. You know what you want. You want to have this online business. You want to have a membership site, and you're here on this call with us today. So you're already part of the way there. Let's just keep on going. What's more important than the past or even the present is the future. What you'll set up in the next few days, how you'll adjust, and what money you'll make. And then isn't it true that once you actually are in the zone, you're taking action, you think differently than when you're studying, right? Imagine if you studied the owner's manual of your car and never drove a car, or you studied the driving traffic laws. But then once you get behind the wheel of a car, now it's practical. Now you think in terms way differently than just in studying mode. And so it's time to get out of studying mode. I want to be the reason why you have your next big hit product and fulfill your dreams. You set up that mini course, you add checklists, a sales letter, you fill it with members, you expand to whatever you want, whatever your heart desires, whatever your dreams are. If it's a fixed term site, add bonuses, have a group coaching community, a directory, anything like that. I hope that by now you're beginning to get this. That it's not always just about the software, or it's not always just about having a good attitude. You combine all these components to be unbeatable, to beat the competition, to stand out, be unique, have your own twist. It's just $9.97 at membershipcube.com. There's also lots of built-in tools and plugins to checklist your training, to use this course as the motivation you've always needed to get it done, and get it online now, because that's what's most important. The most important thing above anything is getting it online now, and then you can make it perfect later. It might never be perfect, but if it makes money, that's perfect enough for me. So use our plugins to mail out bonus DVDs, make a directory, and just give people what they really need. The fact that that people are still always going to be buying software or courses means that what's out there now is not fulfilling their needs. So it's up to you to fill that gap and give people what they want, and get people to what they want to do. Give them the solution, get them to take some action, and stop trading time for dollars. Being an employee or being just a coach is not passive income. You want passive income, need to change lives, you need to make a real difference. Membership sites are the way to do that. Membershipcube.com is the way to get your membership site. You get all the training modules, and even if you know one piece, like a sales letter, you might not have the whole thing, or your sales letter might need an improvement, right? Or your sales letter might need to be optimized specifically for a membership site. We'll get you there. We'll give you the plugins, we'll give you the clones, we'll install a site for you, we'll meet with you, we'll give you transcripts. I mean, what else do you want? And what's even better is that you join now, you get it all instantly. There's no dripping, there's no waiting around. It's all in there for you right now. You go at your own pace, as fast or as slow as you want. Some people said that they blew through the whole course, they binge watched it, I guess is what the kids say, or they watched one module per day or whatever. Go at whatever pace makes sense to you. I know me personally, um, I'm super excited when I join a course, and then at first I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do it, and then I go on ahead. I just say I'm not going to concern myself with the whole entire thing. I'm just going to tackle that first module, that first thing, and I tackle just that first thing. I get some results. I get excited even more than when I bought, and then it gets me to do the next thing step by step. So that's what we want for you, to join Membership Cube, to get in, to get all this stuff, to set some stuff up, and then see, whoa, it was way easier than I was telling myself it was. I was telling myself it was hard, but I got this coach, I got the right guys to help me, I got the right software, and it all suddenly made sense once I took some action, once I set up all this stuff. So training, bonuses, plugins, and clones, you can pay it right now, all up front, $997 if that's your style, or we'll finance you for just $47 down today. All the stuff you see on the screen, $47 to get you started. And I mean, what a deal, right? You don't have to save up hundreds of dollars, save up all your pennies. I mean, for the cost of a tank of gas, for the cost of going to the movies, once you bring your kids and you buy all the drinks and the snacks, I mean, cheaper than all that. So, I mean, you waste that on a movie for a couple of hours. Why wouldn't you put this into your future, your family's future, what you're going to build, your retirement, all that stuff? $47 down today, membershipcube.com. And it's 100% risk free. For any reason in the next 30 days, you can refund. The only catch is that if you contact us and you say, hey, Robert and Lance, you know what? I bought the course. I love it. It's great. I just don't have the time right now for a membership site, or, you know, for whatever reason, like you don't like the way that we talk, anything, you can get your money back. We have no problem with that. The only catch is that we'll shut down the software, because you pay for the software, you use it, you don't pay for it, you don't use it. I think that's makes a lot of sense right there. So you have a decision to make. But the good news is it's an easy decision. Do you not want a membership site? Do you not want easy money? Do you not want passive income? Do you want to keep staying frustrated and angry and just not really knowing what to do? If that's true, then I'll see you later. But if you do want a membership site, if you do want a passive income, if you do want to make a difference, if you want to change lives, if you want to be loved because you were the one person that finally got someone to rent out their Airbnb, learn a language, raise drones, sell real estate, whatever, if you're the one that finally gets someone to cash in on the dreams, I mean, they are going to love you forever. And that's what we want for you. So membershipcube.com, so that you can get the training, get the software, set up a membership site, help some people out, change some lives, make some money in the process. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I don't know about you. So what to do right now? We're at the end. This is the time to take some action yourself. Go to www.membershipcube.com to secure your spot right now. And then you scroll to the bottom, you click the payment button, and you send your payment to Double Agent Marketing LLC. It'll all show on the screen, and then you just log into the membership site in the next few minutes. So here's the place to go. Hurry up, go ahead, do it right now. That's membershipcube. That's membershipcube.com. And just to be clear, you get your own copy of this software called Wishlist Member, which is $300. We put it in your name, all that fun stuff, even just for $47 down today. You get our whole course, all our plugins, all our clones, all our bonuses, all that up front. If you choose to cancel or refund, I hope you don't, but sometimes life gets in the way. We completely understand. If you want your money back within 30 days, contact us. We'll do it. The only one catch is if the money's zeroed out, the software is zeroed out as well. And then people are asking in the chat box about other costs. We show you how to get your domain going, how to get your hosting going. It's only a few dollars, and then you're rocking and rolling there. And if you want us to compare to other plugins, you see, like, we don't like to play that game. We blur stuff out, but it's either one extreme or the other. Too simple or too complex. We want you to have a membership site that grows with you. As you make more money, you pick up a few more skills, you set up a few more things in your membership site, you bring up the price, you deliver more value. That makes a lot more sense to me, as opposed to being stuck, being locked into some sort of platform that you hate the longer you're in it. Don't do that. Use WordPress. That way it can grow with you. And if you ever feel like you can't do it, or you might get stuck, you might have a bad couple of days or whatever, that's what the 40-minute meeting is for. You put the time and date in our calendar. We have these sort of office hours. You can meet with us, and there you go. And again, if you want your money back, great. If you have a technical issue, we also have a help desk, which we link to in the members area. So you are covered in every which way imaginable that we have thought of. We want you to have a membership site. That would completely make our day. If you personally have tried for years and just been struggling, discouraged, burnt out, whatever, now you found us. Now you made a membership site. Now it's time to do it at membershipcube.com. So go there right now to get all the stuff, the training, the bonuses, the plugins, and the clones at membershipcube.com. It's $9.97 to pay all at once, or $47 down today. You'll get started today. Take this final step. I'll take it with you. We'll bring up a web browser. Come on, do it with me. And you know what? Even if you say, there's no way I'm going to buy it today, I can't do it. Well, how about you just bring up the web page anyway? Just see what we're all about. Aren't you the least bit curious at what's there at membershipcube.com? Membershipcube.com is the place to go. You go there, and then here's where we just tell you what the offer is about. You say, here's what we've got. Here's people who have taken the program and loved it. Here are the frustrations you have, like not knowing what solution to have. And then we get to our favorite membership site secrets. We get to the offer. Well, now we say, well, here are the plugins and here are the modules. And it just, at least to me, it makes logical sense how you kind of start simple and then build and build and build. And this has everything that you need. We honestly don't think that you'll ever need a membership course or membership product or membership plugin or anything like that ever again. It's all in one place. So that gives you like the bigness of it. I don't know if that's a word. So there's the bigness of it, but also the simplicity, the quick action. You join, you get it started today, and then you add to it, you grow as you grow. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking a part in our discussion about membership sites. We want to see you having a membership site. I know it used to be scary, it used to seem hard, but it is easy once you make your first one, and it's a lot of fun once the money comes in. If you've always felt like, this internet marketing stuff or this building an online business stuff, it's not really fun. Well, once the money comes in, it becomes fun. So we want the money to come in for you, but that part's up to you. So go right now, membershipcube.com, and we'll see you on the inside, and we'll see you set up your membership site. So membershipcube.com. I'm Robert Plank, and thank you.